Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the Cricstrat podcast, wherein we discuss in depth analysis of each and every match that was being cancelled for this IPL and ultimately land a winner for the particular match and also the final winner in the final for the IPL 2021. So today the agenda is Rajasthan Royals versus Chennai Super Kings. And not to be that much biased about this, but given the halfway point to the match, it was quite obvious of who was going to be the winner for this. But we are not here to shoot arrows blindly in the air. We have stats. So starting with the pitch today, it was supposed to be played at Arun Jaitley Stadium, which is ideally a high-scoring ground wherein 200 is easily chaseable. But still, it gets to a pressure if you score in more than 220 runs. And I think the whoever would have won the toss would be looking to bat first. What do you think about this, Neha?
I completely agree with you on this, and definitely, it would have been such a high-scoring match with both the teams chasing the centuries, and it would have been a treat for the fans, for the players, for literally everybody. It's just a shame that the match was cancelled. But one thing I'd definitely like to point out is that they had earlier clashed at the Wankhede Stadium, and so far, their scores, I don't believe that this would have been a very fair match because, as we already know, RR has a lead. They have a very good lead this season. So, would CSK had been able to chase it or not? Govind, what's your take on this?
Okay, so looking at some head-to-head stats, you have Chennai Super Kings who lead the against the Rajasthan Royals by 15 to 10. So RR had defeated Chennai twice last year, but Dhoni came out victorious this year in the first meeting. So if one takes a call on the basis of the position of both teams, I think Chennai will be marked the favorites here. But RR will have a momentum on their side, having defeated Sunrisers by 55 runs at the same venue, and you had Josh Butler hitting a century that match. So I think the players were also getting back in form. So I think it would have been a tight match, but again, Chennai are marked as favorites for this.
Yeah, precisely, dude. I definitely agree. Given their main players like Jofra Archer leaving the matches, also Ben Stokes immediately following because of a shoulder injury. What I think for Rajasthan happened to the season was they relied too much on Josh Butler. And like if you see if he performs well, when we saw in the last match, he scored a century, 124 runs, and they ended up winning, having a huge target. But relying too much on a player does not win you matches a lot, and you just have to rely, you just have to hope that this guy plays well for us to even stand a chance against this. So like I prefer Chennai to win this match, but Man, do you have any other insights for this?
So for this match, we have a lot of interesting stats. Like we have a whole bunch of stats. For example, Suresh Raina, who is known for scoring the second highest number of runs in this IPL, um, he has aggregated around 656 runs batting for Chennai Super Kings against Rajasthan Royals. So that's something. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Josh Butler has scored 256 runs for
Hmm.
CSRR while playing. You know, so Dwayne, and on the bowling department, Dwayne Bravo has taken 16 wickets um, for
Yeah.
Chennai Super Kings, and you know he was not a part of the 11 last match in the 2021 IPL. But I think they could come in with the change. I think they will bring in Jason Berendoff this time. Dwayne Bravo, I think he is not in form this year, but they were prepping for Jason Berendoff this time, so I think Jason Berendoff might come in. And in the last match, another good bowler from Rajasthan was Chetan Sakaria. He took 3 wickets for 36 runs, so I think that might be a good performance to look after.
Yep. Like Talking about the death bowling of Chennai, as you said, we have Dwayne Bravo and recently Berendorf as well. I mean, these are spectacular international bowlers, and they won't let you go off easily with their slow balls. It's like even if the pitch is good, you won't be able to hit the ball out of the ground, and players are all scattered throughout the place, and you will inevitably get your wicket handed to one of the fielders over there. Hence, these are like this is what I think is two of the main reasons for Chennai winning this match, even if they end up chasing it. Like, what do you think, Shreyash, about this? Who are you rooting for?
I mean, I'm simply rooting for CSK, and the only reason there is Dhoni. I believe in his power of youth. He's a young man. He's a talented fellow. I mean, you just cannot bet against that man. I mean,
Yeah,
after Arjun Tendulkar, I think he is the greatest player in IPL.
yeah. I mean,
I mean, of
scoring
course, not as cool as
scoring
Arjun
19
Tendulkar, but
runs of 25
yeah,
balls. It's only a dashing player can do that, right?
I mean, Arjun Tendulkar can, but they didn't give him a chance.
Yeah,
So he decided to shut IPL off. I mean, how can you not like Dhoni, dude? He got us the World Cup. He got us he got us the World Cup once, and he got us the World Cup not two times. The
mm,
point is, Dhoni is the best player out there. Yeah, I mean, after Arjun Tendulkar, and I don't bet on statistics. I think statistics are stupid. I think you should bet on the player. And all jokes aside, Dhoni is a tested person. He has shown his worth couple of times. Okay, more than couple of times. He has shown that he is the greatest captain India has, and I think that these things, when you sum these up, these would carry CSK all the way. And of course, RR does not have Arjun Tendulkar, so that's like the major reason. So yeah, my money is on CSK.
yep. I think we all agree on this, guys. I mean, we all
Yeah,
think,
Arjun
given
Tendulkar is
the
best.
Yep, given the performance of RR in this match, like not only of this season, like in fact in all the seasons, they don't have the momentum like anywhere throughout the tournament. And that's what is going for their downfall. They keep on bouncing back, but they don't keep the consistency right there. They will win one match, but then they will again mess up something, and then two or three matches they will still end up losing and won't even make for the top four. I mean, this has been continuous given the historical data and the stats that we agreed upon. Suresh Raina being one of the highest run scorers against RR, and also RR only relying on one player, whereas Chennai has majority of the players who perform well. And if one player does not play well, then you always have the other guy to back you up. So, Man, any final thoughts on this?
So yeah, as you were talking about RR's dependence on Josh Butler, so I think that RR has a really lacking what do you call supply of foreign players. So they were like they only have 4 or 5 foreign players right now. They don't have any other players. All of the other players have left or are injured. So like Josh Butler has and a few others like Jofra Archer is not playing. Ben Stokes is gone. So like all of the players who were supposed to be big players, they are not here. So I think this is the big reason for this downfall.
Yeah. Even Chris Morris, I believe he is the most paid cricketer for this year's IPL. And going for 40, 50 odd runs and being paid this much amount, I mean, I don't know if that's poor buying strategy or just his luck did not go well for Chris Morris for this season. But I mean, he also has not delivered up to his expectations and also not delivered the amount in front of the money that was spent purchasing Chris Morris for RR. Even David Miller did not perform that well, and like I can keep on going, naming players and uh, just saying negative things about them. But we all know these guys are highly capable of scoring well. But we go with stats. we go with historical data, and currently they all are out of form, and it's an easy win against Chennai Super Kings, given their openers, Ambati Raidu, who has also been in great form. So I guess this is an easy pick, guys, and we all think Chennai should be winning this match and go still be on the third in the table with 12 points, having played 8 matches and lost only two. Any final thoughts about this, Govind?
Yeah, I think Chennai was marked as favorites from the starting of this conversation. So I think Chennai itself would have taken the crown for this. Sorry, taken the match. But one thought I just had right now is now that IPL is cancelled and it will be resumed, say in 5 or 6 months. Ben Stokes and Joseph Archer are going to be coming back to the RR team, right? So
Yeah,
won't they? I think there's a high chance that RR can turn into a title contending team this season itself. If it were to resume in UK itself, you think both Jofra and Stokes, their home ground there, So
Hmm.
I think RR could eventually, like later on in the season, could turn into a title contending league. Maybe they could take the fourth place and get to the playoffs, and finally, who knows? So it's all ambiguity now. So
That's a great point, actually. So, like recently, it's legit the latest news wherein Saurav Ganguly said the remaining matches of the IPL won't be played in India as such, and BCCI is looking for places like Australia, UK, or Dubai to be the hosts of the IPL. And if that's the case, even if it's played in Dubai, and as you said, it's in 5 to 6 months, they have their players back for their team, and definitely they can pull this tide for them for their own favor. But currently for this match, I'm gonna go with Chennai, and I think we all agree on that. And that's it. That's pretty much it for this podcast. If anyone has any final thoughts, Shreyash.
I mean, final thoughts. Like, I don't even have first thoughts. The fact that Dhoni is playing, I mean, let's be fair, guys. This guy always wins. I
Yep.
mean, no matter how bad the situation is, he comes through. I mean, jokes apart, the people are laughing at him and criticizing him a lot. But yeah, that happens. He's gotten older. Uh, you lose form,
Agree.
but form is temporary, class is permanent. So
Yeah.
I feel that in moments that matter, he would shine. And of course, he has a great team. Even if he's not performing well, he can captain them, and that in
Exactly.
itself will, I feel, carry them forward. Also, of course, I mean they also have a great advantage that RR does not have. Arjun Tendulkar, but let's leave that. Let's leave that. I mean,
Yeah.
what can you do?
I think what people would know just judge by a player by how he bats in a match. Like also captaining a side and leading them to victory. Even if the target is huge, you got a huge target on the board, but still having a good amount of captaincy and delivering or just choosing bowlers to bowl at this particular amount of time, or even getting the batsman out at 1 down, 2 down, or anything, you need good captaincy for that. And that Dhoni, to be honest, has proved n number of times of how good of a captain he is, and the criticism that he's getting for not scoring runs. I mean, if a guy is coming at you at 140 km per hour and you just don't get that instinct anymore if you are 35 plus to pull that ball over to the boundary. And it's completely understandable for a person of that age, but we have to keep in consideration the wicket keeping that he has done, also the captaincy of how he has led the Chennai Super Kings with 3 titles, ignoring the last year's disaster that they went through. But okay, it just happens to people. But anyways, this was quite a fun talk, guys, and we have a winner, which is Chennai Super Kings. And we'll see you for the fourth edition for this podcast, bringing you the next match and our prediction with good analysis of who should be the winner for that match. Thank you for tuning in, guys.